Every morning, your day begins with choices: the clothes you wear, the breakfast you eat, the messages you send. Each small decision seems harmless, yet by the evening, your mind feels heavy, your focus fades, and you wonder why you feel so drained. This is not laziness. It is decision fatigue, the silent thief of clarity. In this story, you will uncover how to protect your mental energy and start making wiser, calmer decisions that truly shape the life you desire. It begins like any ordinary day. A young professional named Maya wakes up early, feeling confident and ready to conquer the world. She picks up her phone and instantly faces her first question: what should I wear today? 10 minutes later, she scrolls through breakfast options. Then she checks messages, wonders whether to reply now or later, debates if she should take the bus or drive. By 9 a.m., she has already made 50 tiny decisions, and the day hasn't even started. By evening, Maya feels strangely tired, not physically, but mentally drained. She hasn't run a marathon, yet her brain feels heavy, like it's been carrying invisible weight all day. The truth is, she has been. What Maya is experiencing is decision fatigue, the silent killer of clarity. Science tells us that our brain has a limited capacity for making decisions each day. Every choice, no matter how small, uses up a little bit of mental energy. When that energy runs low, we begin to make impulsive, emotional, or lazy decisions. That's why people often order junk food after a long day or waste hours scrolling instead of sleeping. The brain is not weak. It is simply tired. Think of your mental energy like the battery of a phone. Every time you open an app, the battery drains a little more. By midday, dozens of apps are running, choosing, comparing, judging, doubting. Unless you close some of them, your battery dies before the day ends. The result: confusion, frustration, and poor judgment. But there's good news. You can recharge your mental battery by simplifying your daily life. Decide once, use often. Plan your outfits for the week, prepare your meals ahead of time, and follow consistent routines for mornings and nights. These small systems protect your mind from burnout and keep your focus sharp for what truly matters. For English learners, practice phrases like mental energy, decision fatigue, and clear focus. Try using them in sentences: I protect my mental energy, or I save my focus for important decisions. The takeaway is simple yet powerful: stop wasting energy on the trivial. Every unnecessary choice steals focus from your future. Simplify the small so you can strengthen the big. The right decision is not always the one that feels good right now. It is the one that allows you to sleep peacefully later. Most people confuse comfort with peace. Comfort is temporary, like a warm blanket on a cold morning that makes you stay in bed. Peace, however, is the deep breath you take when you know you did the right thing, even when it was hard. Imagine two friends, Ethan and Leo. Both are tired after work and want to feel better. Ethan opens his delivery app and orders fast food again. Leo, though exhausted, decides to cook a simple, healthy meal. In that moment, Ethan feels comfort. Leo feels effort. But after dinner, Leo's body feels light, and his mind feels proud. Ethan feels regret, heavy and slow. Weeks later, the difference grows clear. Ethan's energy fades, while Leo's discipline builds quiet confidence. The truth: peace belongs to the one who chose growth over comfort. The peace test is simple but powerful. Before making a choice, pause and ask, will this decision make me proud a year from now? Most wrong choices fail this test. They give a quick burst of pleasure, but leave behind guilt or chaos. The right choice often demands patience, discipline, or sacrifice, but it leaves you calm, not restless. This principle applies to everything, from relationships to career moves. Saying yes to every opportunity may look ambitious, but often creates confusion. Saying no to things that do not align with your values might hurt now, but it creates peace later. The calm that follows right decisions is the reward of courage and clarity. Let's practice a few key words for English learners: peace, patience, comfort, growth, and values. Try saying, "I choose peace over comfort," or "My values guide my decisions." Notice how these words shape your mindset. When your vocabulary grows, your thinking grows too. You can also train your peace test daily through a mini exercise. Before you act, take one deep breath and ask yourself, does this bring peace or just pleasure? If the answer is pleasure, pause. If the answer is peace, proceed. This 1-second awareness can change the direction of your life. Remember, real success is not about having everything. It is about feeling calm inside while you build your dreams outside. Comfort fades. Chaos drains. But peace stays with you long after the noise is gone. The smartest decisions are not the ones that impress others, but the ones that let you wake up every morning with quiet confidence, knowing you chose wisely. Imagine standing at a crossroads with your heart shouting one thing and your mind whispering another. Most people choose whichever voice is louder, usually the emotional one. But strong emotions are like waves. They rise, crash, and fade. The October 10 rule helps you surf those waves instead of drowning in them. The rule is simple but transformative. Before making a decision, ask yourself 3 questions. How will I feel about this in 10 minutes? In 10 months? In 10 years? These 3-time windows pull you out of the storm of emotion and into the calm of perspective. It is like zooming out of a photograph until you can see the whole landscape instead of one blurry corner. Let's look at a story. Julia, a young marketing professional, was ready to quit her job after a heated argument with her boss. Her heart was on fire. She wanted to walk out immediately and never come back. But before acting, she remembered the October 10 rule. She asked herself, in 10 minutes, I'll feel relief. In 10 months, I might regret losing financial stability. In 10 years, this argument will mean nothing, but my reputation for patience will matter. So, she stayed, cooled down, and used the experience to grow. 6 months later, she was promoted, not because she was perfect, but because she was wise. This rule works because it separates emotion from logic. In the short term, emotions dominate: anger, fear, excitement. But when you extend the timeline, logic takes the lead. You start thinking about consequence, reflection, and long-term regret. The October 10 rule is not about suppressing feelings, it is about giving them context. Feelings are real, but they are not always right. For English learners, focus on these key words: emotion, logic, consequence, reflection, regret. Try building sentences like, I choose logic over emotion, or I reflect before I react. Saying these phrases out loud trains both your language and your mindset. Here is a small exercise. Think about a recent tough decision you made, perhaps in work, love, or study. Write it down and apply the October 10 rule. How would each time frame change your perspective? You may find that what feels painful now could turn into wisdom later, or what feels easy now could grow into regret. The takeaway is clear: the longer your vision, the wiser your choice. People who think only about the next 10 minutes chase comfort. Those who think in 10 years build legacies. Next time emotion tries to take the wheel, pause and ask the 3 golden questions. Let time be your teacher, and your guide toward peace and clarity. Picture this. You receive a message that instantly sets your blood boiling. Your fingers hover over the keyboard, ready to fire back a reply filled with anger and pride. You hit send, and 5 minutes later, regret begins to bloom like a slow poison. Sound familiar? That is the power of reaction. Fast, fiery, and often foolish. Emotions are like storms. When they rise, they flood your mind, cloud your logic, and twist your perspective. During a storm, the world looks darker than it really is. But if you wait, if you simply pause, the storm always passes. The sky clears, and suddenly the same problem that felt impossible now looks small and manageable. That is why wise people follow one timeless rule: never make a permanent decision in a temporary mood. Let's take the story of Liam. He worked for a company he loved, but had a disagreement with his manager. One afternoon, in a moment of frustration, he drafted a resignation email. His heart was pounding, his thoughts were racing, and everything inside him screamed, "I'm done." But before pressing send, he remembered the reaction rule. He closed his laptop, went for a long walk, and promised himself to decide tomorrow. The next morning, his emotions had cooled. He saw the issue differently. It was not betrayal, it was a misunderstanding. He stayed, communicated calmly, and later received the opportunity of a lifetime. That is the magic of a pause. A short silence can save you from a long regret. The best strategy when emotions rise is simple. Pause. Breathe. Sleep on it. Then decide. Sometimes the most powerful action is no action at all. Now let's explore another technique called reverse the perspective. When you are emotional, your mind becomes trapped inside the story. But if you imagine giving advice to your best friend in the same situation, clarity appears almost instantly. For example, if your friend told you they wanted to quit their job after one bad day, what would you say? Probably something like, "Calm down, think it through, don't act on anger." That voice of reason, that calm, patient guide, is already inside you. You just need space to hear it. For English learners, focus on key words: emotion, calm, reaction, patience, reflection. Try repeating sentences such as, "I react calmly," or "Patience protects my peace." Speaking these affirmations helps you remember that composure is a skill you can train every day. Here's a mini practice. Next time you feel angry, sad, or anxious, delay your decision for 24 hours. Write your thoughts, but do not act on them. You will be surprised how often your urgent feelings fade into quiet wisdom overnight. The takeaway is powerful yet simple. Calm minds make strong decisions. Reacting quickly may feel satisfying in the moment, but reflection creates results that last. So when the storm of emotion begins to roar, remember, you are not the storm. You are the sky behind it. Wait for the calm, and let your next choice come from peace, not pressure. Every strong decision-maker has something invisible guiding them, a compass. Not a tool of metal and glass, but one made of values and principles. While most people drift from one mood to another, great thinkers and calm leaders make decisions based on what they believe in, not how they feel in the moment. Here is the truth. Feelings change every hour, but values stay steady for a lifetime. A clear set of personal rules acts like a lighthouse in the fog of confusion. When the world shouts 100 different opinions, your principles whisper the direction of peace. Imagine this story. Emma, a talented designer, is offered a dream job, high salary, luxury office, and prestige. But the company's culture is toxic. People compete ruthlessly, no one smiles, and her peace feels threatened. Her old self might have accepted the offer out of fear of missing out. But this time, she had her compass ready. She had defined her 3 non-negotiable values: honesty, peace, and health. The job violated 2 of them. So she said no, politely but firmly. Months later, she found another opportunity. Smaller paycheck, but a team full of kindness and respect. Her creativity flourished, and so did her happiness. Her principle saved her from years of quiet misery. This is what real strength looks like. The ability to say no when everyone else says yes. To protect your peace even when temptation whispers otherwise. So how do you build your compass? Start by defining your top 3 personal values, the things you refuse to trade, no matter what. For example, honesty. I will always tell the truth, even when it is hard. Peace. I will not accept money, fame, or status that destroys my calm. Health. I will protect my body and mind before chasing success. These rules are not decoration, they are filters. Every new decision passes through them. If something goes against your values, the answer is simple. It is a no. That brings us to one of the most powerful principles in decision-making. Say no fast. If an opportunity, invitation, or idea does not feel like a clear yes, it is a quiet no. The longer you wait, the more energy you waste. Strong people do not overthink. They choose clarity over confusion. For English learners, focus on these words: values, principle, boundary, clarity, integrity. Practice saying sentences like, I decide based on my values, or my boundaries protect my peace. Speaking your values out loud gives them power and trains your brain to act in alignment with them. Here's a mini exercise. Take a notebook and write your top 3 life rules in English. Then place them where you can see them every morning. When life gets noisy, read them again. Let them remind you who you are and what truly matters. The takeaway is simple but life-changing. Principles make hard choices simple. When your values are clear, your decisions become easy. You no longer need to chase approval or guess what is right. Your compass already knows the way. There is a quiet but powerful question that can transform every decision you make. What will my future self thank me for? It sounds simple, yet it carries the wisdom of a lifetime. Most people make choices to please the moment, to silence discomfort, to grab quick pleasure, to escape effort. But wise people make choices to honor their future selves, even when it costs a bit of comfort now. Imagine this scene. Daniel, a university student, comes home after a long day. His friends invite him to binge-watch a new series. His body screams yes, but somewhere deep inside, a calm voice whispers, "What will my future self thank me for?" He takes a deep breath and opens his notes instead. He studies for an hour, just one focused hour. Months later, he aces his exam and earns a scholarship. While his friends complain about missed chances, Daniel smiles. That one small decision planted the seed for his future freedom. This is how great lives are built. Not by one massive decision, but by 1,000 small ones that honor the person you are becoming. Each time you resist the easy path, you build a bridge to your future. Science supports this truth. When you think beyond the moment, when you imagine your future self, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, logic, and maturity. It is like moving from a foggy tunnel into sunlight. Suddenly, you can see the bigger picture. You realize that comfort today can create regret tomorrow, while small sacrifices today can create peace, pride, and opportunity later. Try this simple mental exercise before your next decision. Close your eyes and picture yourself 6 months from now. What does your future self look like? How do they feel? Are they tired, stressed, and disappointed, or are they confident, calm, and grateful that you made the right choice today? This technique transforms impulse into insight. It slows you down just enough to break emotional patterns and think clearly. Instead of chasing what feels good, you start choosing what will be good. For English learners, you can use the future tense to strengthen this mindset. Try saying sentences like, I will be proud of myself for this decision. I will thank myself later. I will feel stronger because I did not give up. Speaking these sentences aloud makes the future real in your mind. It reminds you that every choice today builds a version of you tomorrow. Remember this, the future is not a mystery. It is a mirror reflecting the decisions you make today. Each small act of discipline is like a savings deposit in your emotional bank account. The interest grows in the form of confidence, peace, and strength. So before your next decision, pause for a breath and ask, what will my future self thank me for? Then act accordingly. The takeaway is timeless. The future rewards the patient. The right decision rarely feels easy now, but it always feels right later. Your future self is waiting. Build a life they will be proud to live. Life is not one grand decision. It is 1,000 quiet ones that shape who you become. Every morning you wake up standing at a crossroads, what to focus on, what to ignore, what to say yes to, and what to let go of. Over time, these choices become your habits become your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. Imagine two people starting at the same place. One moves through life reactively, driven by impulse, emotion, and convenience. They wake up and scroll, eat without thinking, say yes to everything, and wonder why they always feel lost. The other person moves with intention. They pause before reacting, they ask questions before committing, and they protect their peace as fiercely as their goals. A year later, the difference between them is not luck or talent, it is awareness. That is the art of wise living, to choose with consciousness instead of chaos. Let us revisit the wisdom you have gathered through this journey. You learned about decision fatigue, the silent thief of clarity, and how simplifying your daily choices saves energy for what truly matters. You explored the peace test, discovering that the right choice often brings calm, not excitement. You practiced the October 10th, 10 rule, separating emotion from logic to avoid regret. You mastered the reaction rule, learning never to decide in the middle of a storm. You built your personal compass of values, guiding your actions through integrity and peace. You applied the future self-test, thinking beyond today to shape a future you will be proud of. All these lessons lead to one truth: decisions are the architecture of your life. Each one is a brick. Each moment of awareness is a foundation stone. When you build with intention, your inner house stands strong even when the winds of emotion blow. Wise living does not mean you never make mistakes. It means you make them consciously, learn from them quickly, and correct them with grace. The goal is not perfection but direction. So take this as your closing affirmation. Slow down. Choose clarity. Protect your energy. Your future is being built quietly, decision by decision, in the present moment. Because in the end, you are not defined by the noise of your circumstances but by the wisdom of your choices. Takeaway: Decision-making is not about perfection, it is about intention. When you live intentionally, every choice becomes a step toward peace, purpose, and the life you were meant to build.